When it comes to these vendors, y'all gotta know what y'all looking for. What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for tuning in this week for Chair Talk. We back at it, y'all. So this week is gonna be like a really quick video. I had somebody ask me this, and I wanted to just go over a few things when it comes to finding the right vendor for your business. And this can go for whatever business, but more specifically businesses in the hair or beauty industry. Okay. So, first things first, we're going to dive right into it. You got to define what you're looking for. Okay. You got to know exactly what you're looking for, the quality that you want to bring your customers. That's number one. The vibe of your brand, like what are you trying to offer to the public, what you trying to sell. Okay, you need to figure that out. You need to figure out if it's going to be raw hair, virgin hair, Remy hair, synthetic, whatever it is. You have to be clear, and you have to make sure that you know exactly what it is. Okay, and then you also want to make sure you know the textures. You're going to have straight hair, body wave hair, naturally wavy hair, which some raw hair already has. And then you also want to make sure that you decide on the price. What's your price going to be? Are these going to be high-end uh luxury items, or are these going to be, your everyday affordable items? Okay. Number two, you have to research and you have to source these vendors, because all vendors are not created equal. All vendors are not created equal. Okay. That's what we're going to say. They're not created equal. Just because the pictures look nice and what they send you or what you see on social media, the pictures look nice. When you get that hair, you're going to see exactly what that vendor is about. And that just is what it is. You can't lie at that point. You want to make sure wherever you finding them at, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, um, it's people out here who sell vendors, people who are selling their own personal vendor. Even though I feel like these people really don't be selling a vendor, they just market it as if that's the vendor that they actually use. But I don't be thinking to be their real vendor, because who gonna sell their real vendor? Like, come on now, because the competition is always watching. Like, who's actually selling their real vendor? It's probably just a vendor that they have that's comparable to what they have or their quality, but I don't think it's their actual like main vendor. It might just be one of their vendors, but not the main person that they get their stuff from. But anyway, you want to make sure you look at wholesale platforms like Alibaba, AliExpress. There's so many different things that you can look at when it comes to sourcing your vendor. And then you have things like trade shows. Bronner Brothers, I know, is a really big one. Like, there's so many different vendors that come to Bronner Brothers every single year. I love Bronner Brothers. Like, especially because I'm a licensed hairstylist myself, or a licensed cosmetologist myself. I go for classes. I get VIP access to the vendors and the shows and things like that. So to me, I feel like seeing it on a trade show is as close as you're going to get to being able to find a really good vendor, especially because they have hair on hand or products on hand for you to test, because that's what they're there for. They're at a trade show. They're there to display their product that they want to sell. So you get a up close and personal hands-on view of the product that you are sourcing, which is great because you don't have to fly all the way to China. You don't have to fly all the way to India or go to these different places in order to see the hair. It's right there in front of you in your own backyard. Another thing is word of mouth. So, like, if you have somebody you're networking with, you can ask them where they get their hair from. That's easy. But you have to make sure that they're not in direct competition with you, because no one's going to give you the vendor unless you pay for it. And even when you pay for it, who's to say it's their actual vendor? Okay. So you want to make sure that the person you're networking with and that you're asking the for the vendor from is not really in direct competition with you, and they don't have a desire to sell hair or anything like that. You can ask clients, you can ask customers, you can ask um anybody you come into contact with, and you can source your vendors that way. That's a really easy way. Now, moving towards testing the quality. Once you go through steps one, step two, you want to make sure that you test it. You never want to just get a product from a vendor and then you sell it. You want to test it first. You want to make sure it's the real deal. You want to make sure that it's right and that it fits your brand. You never want to start selling something that you're unsure about or you've never tried or tested. That is a surefire way to have a really bad reputation for your business. And it's very rare that some people who do that look up and actually have a really good vendor. It's not easy to do that. So you always want to test it, okay? And that's with anything. If you're a makeup artist, you want to make sure that you testing the makeup that you're getting from these vendors because you want to make sure it's right. If you're a nail artist, you want to make sure that you're testing the products that you're getting private label from these companies and making sure that the ingredients are right, making sure that it doesn't cause allergic reactions. All kinds of things. You want to make sure that you do your research, and a part of your research is testing the quality. When it comes to hair, there's a few different tests that you can do. You can do a smell test, make sure it doesn't smell like corn chips, because I've seen and smelled a few corn chippy wigs in my day. It's wild. It's wild. Okay, it's wild. And you also want to do a burn test. And the difference between human hair and synthetic hair in the burn test, which is really important, is that human hair turns to ash. Synthetic hair burns and curls up into a ball and it doesn't turn into ash. Plain and simple. All right. You want to make sure that it doesn't tangle. You want to make sure it doesn't shed well. You want to make sure that when you shampoo it and condition it, that the hair bounces back naturally in its natural state easily. You want to make sure that that happens because that's also a good sign of great quality hair. And then you also want to make sure you do a heat and a color test. If you do a heat test, you could put heat to it, make sure that it does what it's supposed to do. It lays down or it straightens out. And then you want to make sure you do the color test. The color, you can bleach it up to a 27, or if it's really, really good hair, you can bleach it up to a 613. Okay. And you want to make sure that you have that down, because if you get some hair and it does not color, your customers are going to be pissed. Okay. Because they spending all this money with you and this human hair or this raw hair don't color, babe, count your days. Count your days, okay? And even after you do the heat and the color test, you want to make sure that the hair bounces back into its natural state. That right there is going to take the cake. Because after you've done all of these things and you've tested the quality, then and you come out and it passes all of those quality checks, you have a pretty good vendor. And that's somebody you should keep in your arsenal for sure. And then you also want to make sure that you evaluate the professionalism of the vendor. You want to make sure that their shipping is consistent with what they tell you. You also want to make sure if they communicate with you well. And not only just communicate, but you want to make sure that they have policies that align with your business and how you want to run business. And then you want to make sure too that their quality is consistent, okay? Because they'll send you something good one time and then somewhere down the line, the quality just starts to go down, which is why it's also important to make sure that you have multiple vendors and not just one that you rely on, because that does happen. That happens a lot because they want to try to get the most money for the least amount of quality. So they're going to send you what they send you. And it's up to you to tell them like, "Hey, I don't like this. I'm sending it back. I need a refund, or I need an exchange for something." And that's why you want to make sure that their policies align with how you want to run your business. You got to make sure of that, because if not, you could be stuck with a bunch of inventory that you can't send back. Okay? You just got to eat that. And that sucks, but it happens. It happens. And then you also want to make sure the minimum order quantity is what you like. So when you're testing the vendor, a way to bypass that sometimes, if they have a minimum order quantity, you can ask for samples. And by asking for samples, they're going to automatically send you their samples. And some people may send you a sample, one bundle of each texture, or one bundle, or whatever, what have you. However, their sample policy is set up, they're going to send you that. And some of them don't have a sample policy. You just have to order from them. And then when you order from them, you have to make sure that you can order one bundle at a time, or three bundles. Most of them, you're able to buy one bundle at a time to test it out, especially if you let them know that you're testing their product. They'll more than likely give you one bundle, but some of them don't budge. You have to buy three bundles. Some of them, they just don't budge. You're going to have to buy three bundles. And if you have to buy three bundles, I would say buy one bundle of each texture. So get a straight bundle, a body wave bundle, and a deep wave bundle, or a Burmese bundle, or whatever bundles that they have. You just choose one of each, and then you test each one to see the consistencies and the quality, and to see if they align with your brand. Next, you can check, this part is optional, but you could check if they have private labeling as well, where they can make your tags, your cards, your packaging, your labels, all of that, and they can send it to you, which will take a lot of time off of your hands. And it would make things a lot easier for you, because you don't have to worry about the design. You don't have to worry about printing it off, making the order yourself. You could literally order the marketing and the branding from them, as well as the bundles, as well as the bundles. And sometimes they'll cut you a break too. So if you're getting your packaging done by them and you're buying bundles, sometimes they'll cut you a break and give you a little discount. But you have to make sure that you build a relationship with that vendor first before you do that, and make sure that that's the vendor you choose before you do that, because you don't want to be stuck with a bunch of stuff that you don't like and that you can't use for your brand. And this is going to be a big mess, a very, very, very big mess. Okay, so next, we want to make sure that we compare our pricing and any other logistics that may come about, like shipping time. How fast can they get the product to you? Do they do overnight shipping, just in case you sell out and you need more product? Like, how quick how quick can they get you your product? How easy can they get you your product? You want to make sure that that aligns as well. And then you also want to make sure that your prices are consistent, or as close as possible across your vendors. So like I said before, if you have one vendor, I suggest that you have 3 to 5 vendors, just in case that one vendor doesn't deliver and doesn't give you what you need, because you never know, with the way these tariffs and stuff are going, that one vendor you might have trouble with that one vendor getting your product over here through customs. But your other vendor you may not have any issues with them. They come straight through. So you want to make sure you have those fail safes in order. And then I know here in Atlanta, like we're pretty decent because we have so many different wholesale distributors out here. It's crazy. So even if I do get into a bind of like, if I need hair or a quick shipment, I know where to go. And I could go pick it up in person. I don't have to wait for it in the mail. So that's a plus. That's a plus. So if you live in a place or an area where it's a big city and it's a thriving city and you have access to in-person pickup of your product, I would do that. I would have that, especially with the tariffs and stuff that are going on right now. You want to make sure that you are able to still run your business like a well-oiled machine without anything stopping you from doing anything, okay? Next, you want to make sure that the quality also resembles each other. So, if you have your vendor 1 through 3, their quality is the same, and vendor 4 and 5, their quality is not the same, then you need to choose a different 4 and 5, a number 4 and a number 5 vendor that matches the quality of your 1 through 3 vendors, because you want to make sure that the quality stays consistent. You never want to have somebody order something and then another person orders the same thing, but you have to send them different product from the same product but from a different vendor, but they have a different experience than the other client did. Usually it's a bad experience, more than likely. And you want to make sure that no matter what, all of your vendors have decent or the same or similar quality so that you can have as less hiccups in your brand as possible. And then you also have to factor in things like shipping costs, delivery time, like I said, customs, taxes, all that stuff. Um, because you want to make sure that you can handle or they can handle fast restocks just in case you sell out. And a bonus, we're going to go back to building trust. So, first, we want to start small, okay? Don't go out and buy 15K or 150K worth of inventory if you don't even know if it's going to continue to work out, or you don't know if the hair is good. You do not want to be stuck with a bunch of product that you cannot sell and that you cannot move. I'm just being honest. Because it can't go nowhere. It's a waste of money, so you're going to have to eat that. You're going to have to eat it. So at the end of the day, it's like, make sure that you start small. So I would say the average order for you to start your brand could be anywhere between $500 to $700. And you might be like, $500 to $700. Oh my God. But you gotta think about it. $500, if it's great quality, you gonna make that back double and triple fold. So you don't have to worry about that. Even if it don't work out, even if the quality isn't what you want it to be, you can still make money off of it if the quality is still okay. Because some customers and clients they're okay with just the bare minimum. They're fine. You just have to sell it at a lower price point with different type of marketing. So instead of selling it as luxury hair, you can sell it as affordable hair, good top quality affordable hair. Like you can sell it like that. You don't say luxury, because it's not going to give luxury when your clients or your customers get it, because it's just the quality's not there. So you have to market it a different way in order for you to be able to move it and sell it. But it's not horrible product, it's just not the best, but you can still move it though. So start small. And then you also want to build trust with your vendor. So by starting small, you're showing your vendor like, hey, I don't mind making a large purchase with you, but I need us to trust each other in this business agreement. Okay? And the more you buy from them, like say for instance, you're able to move that, mediocre quality hair or mediocre quality product. You're able to sell it and you're able to move it, right? Now you can take half that profit and go buy more. But at this point now your vendor is like, "Oh, they came back. Let me try to get them the good stuff. So now they trust you more, and they're more compelled to give you good things, the best things, because you came back, right? And then also say for instance, you go back a third or a fourth time. You've established trust by then. So now you can see what kind of discounts they're going to offer, because they see now that you're a regular customer. So you can bargain with them. You can negotiate now. You can say, "Hey, that last batch you gave me wasn't good. I need you to make up for that because it hurt my business. It was not a good quality hair." So now you can bargain with them and reason with them so that you can get better stuff, because they will, because they don't want to lose your money. They're out here running a business just like you trying to run a business. They have to keep you happy, especially if they want you to keep coming back. And it's the same thing for your clients as well. They got to make sure that they can trust you so that they can keep coming back. And that just is what it is. It's the name of the game. That's how you get it. Okay. Boom. So we did the small bulk orders first. Then we got to track the consistency. We got to make sure they right. We got to make sure they right, because I don't want to be spending big money with somebody and your shipping is inconsistent, or it's taking you forever to send me my product, or it's just the quality is just not bad. Like, you just have to make sure that you track the consistency so that you can have consistency within your business and your brand, because you're getting the product from the vendor. So you have to have some kind of consistency there, okay? And last but not least, like I said again, once you find a vendor you can trust, build a long-term relationship with them, and they may give you better pricing, okay? And sometimes the better pricing will stick. That'll be your price for as long as you with them, because you've established that trust. And now they can trust you and say, okay, they're going to come back, so it's cool. And you get better pricing. But I do want to let you know that if somebody or a larger company does come and that's also their vendor, I'm just going to be completely honest. And this is a pro tip for y'all. That's why I tell y'all to have multiple vendors. They're going to go where the money is going to go. So if they have a larger company that's making a larger order than you, they're going to give the best hair to that larger company. Okay. They're going to give the best hair to that. And it's really first come, first serve, really. And that's how they run their business. So it's like first come, first serve. But if you were there first, they're going to opt to give the quality for the bigger fish, because the bigger fish has more money than you, and that's what they want. They want the big ticket. Okay, so that's why it's so important to have a relationship with your vendor, and that's why it's also that much important, if not more important, to have multiple vendors for your business. And it would just make your business run like a well-oiled machine, where you don't miss a beat. Even if something does go wrong with one of your shipments, you're still covered. You still have a way to bounce back. So yeah, so those are the things that I would look at when finding a the right vendor. And like I said, this can go for any business, not just hair, not just beauty, um but just any business in general. You want to make sure that you have your business set up in a way to where it's running smoothly with or without you. And that's the key, because we don't always want to just be the ones doing the work all the time. The owner does not want to be the CEO. We didn't start this business to have to work like we work for somebody else. And yes, it may seem like that in the beginning, and sometimes you still might got to put them gloves on. Even when you have people working for you, you still might got to put them gloves on, but it's not going to be as much as it is in the beginning stages of your business. In the beginning stages of your business, you are going to be doing a lot of the work. And to be honest, that's not what we really want. We want to make sure that we build businesses that run with or without us. We want to make sure that we run well-oiled machines that can survive if we need to take a vacation, because that's it. That's the name of the game. You want to make sure that you have a business that runs well with or without you, because you never know what may happen. As hairstylist, shoot, I have to insure my hands, because what if I break my hand and I got to sit out for a few weeks? I need to still make sure I can pay my bills. Okay, so that's why we run businesses this way, because we want to make sure that regardless of whatever happens to us, because we're human at the end of the day, we're not a robot. We need rest. Okay, and in one of my previous videos, I did say that it's okay for us to take a break, but we need to make sure that this money continues to flow whenever we decide to take a break. So, with that being said, happy vendor hunting, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Chair Talk. I really appreciate you guys each and every single week sitting with me, hearing my rambling. I thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you guys next week. Ciao.